Hello folks, this is Steve AB4L. I just came back from shopping and there's something, as I pulled in, there's something that wasn't there when I went out shopping an hour ago. Now this is my landing strip, I need to mow it. But I've cut back on the mowing because we haven't had any rain. So nothing is actually growing, but when it rains it's going to really grow fast. Now, I want to show you. Remember, there was a truck parked here yesterday and I talked to the guys over there and they're part of the water line project. They're up from Aberdeen. There's an arrow, BX10-1. See the white patch over there? Now, I don't want to get run down. BX10-2, and then they did a different symbol. Let's just look down here for a moment. See, I understand this. Okay, at minimum, that's part of the traffic control. It goes all the way over to that box. And there's no overhead line for crossing the road, so I know it's buried, just as there are lines in here that sense when there's traffic that has come and needs the light to go from red to green. And I know this is the fiber to the curb and goes that way and doesn't go to the pole or whatever. And the guys were down here looking at the situation yesterday, but they didn't do this. This wasn't here yesterday. They didn't do this. Now I got to figure out what this is for. Now, those paintings was done by a guy that came down from Wadesboro, but he worked for a company in Cary. And I asked those two guys when he was spray painting, and it wasn't really to keep the paint there. They agreed that it was a GPS recorder. And as he's spraying, it says, record this, that's where a utility is buried. And then they were able to build a big map later, a year from now, when they're going to put the water line through this area. That's what they said, in about a year. So now I'm running back over here. Now I'm going to take, what you see, it's a circle with a cross, but here it's an arrow. I don't know what would be under here, but it would go across the front of the property, the way somebody has been out here in the last week and done this. Now there's a sewer here, and somebody did this. At first when I was driving by, I thought, I wonder if it's related to that at all. Now, the upshot of all of this actually is that there's a lot of preparation to be done for that water line to be installed along 64 going all the way to the next county. There's a lot of engineering, preparation, scouting, planning, figuring out. Like, here's something I realized as I was going shopping down to Ramseur. And it relates to what those guys were saying. They said that the diameter of the pipe will be almost 2 feet in that vicinity. And they can't cut the road surface here, and it's not going to be under the road. It's going to be here. Now, I'm looking at it. Suppose to trench to put it down, they have to take out the speed sign, or the mailbox, or the NC 49 sign. They can put those back after they're finished. What do you do with that utility pole if it's in the way? Is part of the planning? See, that utility pole could actually be moved. Why? Because the reason why it's there is for the light system. They could move it over like this. You follow? They could move that pole over this way and still have the lights properly positioned for those people coming this way. All right? I'll bet you, now that I think about it, I'll bet you that pole will be moved. It's not like moving one of these, which you notice are not at the corner. Those people were thinking ahead. So those are just my thoughts, stimulated by some new markings on the road, my road, and some fresh trash that somebody threw out of their passing car. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't see these. You can get sections of road dedicated to someone's memory. This was a pastor's wife for a church down that way. This was put in a few years ago. I noticed the new ribbon on there, but now I'm connecting because I saw the writing on this. I didn't notice that. BX10-1 or BXI01. And this is to catch somebody's eye. Okay. Now, back when they did the resurfacing of the entire road, there were some things they had to fix along the way, and they came and marked the pavement this way. In a few minutes, I'm going to go take a ride. If I find more of these along the road, you'll see an addendum to this. Otherwise, for the moment, being puzzled as to what this is Steve AB4L saying, see you in 73. All right, now, excuse the sun. I live down that way, not at this light, but at the next light. I went down the road, I took Old Stagecoach, I came back, and at that corner, near the corner, I saw some markings, but I couldn't stop. Now the traffic's going by, but do you see the similarity? B-55, and this means 20 to 25 feet. Oh, wait a minute. You remember I suddenly discovered that by that memorial sign near the corner for a pastor's wife that passed away a few years ago, that there was one of these? Okay. Now, I don't know what the B55 or the B100 or the B whatever stands for, but somebody has just come today and done these markings as part of the survey work in preparation for the water line. I'm looking over there and I don't see any, but there's nothing over there. I'm wondering if this has anything to do with sewer lines. Now this happens to be a business establishment, but this marking was also near the corner. So that's 3, right? 1 by my place, 1 at that corner, and 1 is here. So in a sense, it almost certainly has to do with the water line, engineering, survey, planning, preparation. Steve AB4 out, just figuring it out. Saying see you in 73 from B55. Oh, wait a minute. Why would they want to have a marker saying 20 to 25? Oh, I got it. Oh, now I understand. Wait a minute, let me pace it off. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you assume my stride is about 3 feet, 7 times 3 is 21, and they marked it 20 to 25 feet, B55, there is something buried under here. There's something buried under here that at this point is about 20 to 25 feet from the edge of the road. Got it. And that matches what was true at my corner. The marking and this thing were up from the corner, and they showed where it most likely crossed under the road. And this is the same thing. Whatever it is that's under here is right here. And the marking there is just to say, look over here. Now this is not permanent. This is, I'm going to say they do this sort of thing just so that they don't repeat themselves. Okay, now I'll say Steve AB4L, just an old engineer figuring it out, saying see you in 73. Hello folks, this is Steve AB4L. How can you tell this is a wild carrot? See that black flag right there? They're all in blossom now. Now I'm coming out to 64. This is among other things for the traffic cable. Remember I saw the 2 guys up from Aberdeen across the intersection there? That was on the 18th. And something happened on the 19th that I'm able to tell because I looked at my dash cam for the 18th and the marking wasn't there. I'm talking about the B markings. Now, we're going to go down there, but first I want to show you something here. Somebody went in there. They cut their way in, because that was overgrown last week when I mowed the grass along here. And I know for sure that somebody did that because of this. Remember, there's some pink ribbons back at the corner on the weeds. All right, now let's go along here. I mow this. periodically. Somebody cut here and went down there to look at it. Now, what I can tell you is there's a storm drain down under there. It goes out to here, and it goes along the curb, and there's an inlet there and another one around the corner. And also a storm grate away from the curb. So somebody went down there. This is fresh cut. And they used a nail to hold that there, which would also suggest that they did a GPS. And I can see the path they used, and there we go. I'll show you what this traffic cable buried there does in a minute. I'm not going to get down there. They cut their way down there. They cut a small sapling off. You can see the pink ribbon. They're searching for something. They've got some kind of detector. So we're continuing along. Pardon my camera work. We're continuing along. To the next property. Now, a couple of weeks ago, the guy came out and used the GPS and spray painted this, and this is for traffic signal, see? And the sensor wires are under the pavement there, and they work in cooperation with the set of lights there, and there's another set of them on the other side further down. But what we're interested in is this, right? We're interested in this. Now, this one is marked with a circle and a cross, whatever that means. It's not the same as that. B46. What was the number over there at the corner? B50 something? B46. I can tell you that, see the traffic coming? Down along there, between here and as far as Scott's Garage, there are 3 more markings like this.